8%, 2% proportion. It would seem that in terms of big data and AI, to my mind, that the 2%, which is all about using the powers of state and regulation and law to shape outcomes, is peculiarly concerned with AI and big data, but in what kind of way? Okay, so we have a story that we can't really trust the state with our data, which is Edward Snowden's story, which is Chelsea Manning's story, which is GCHQ, which is the collusion between Facebook and whatever political operators want to hire their services. Then they get discovered, and then the kind of bond of trust is broken. So we as the citizens look to these platforms that we're using, and a recent batch of news stories has made us really, really suspicious of how the state can be responsible for these things. But then the big question is, who is responsible for these big systems? What's happened ideologically in the broader relationship between states in the latter half of the 21st century and of the 20th century in this part of the 21st. He said, when communism fell, the West reigned. But up till that point, the West had a challenging model. Western capitalism had a model that could challenge it and could literally keep it on its toes. So, in a sense, part of the great boom of the mid to late 20th century was capitalist democracy saying, well, we don't want to let them win, so we came from being this perfect public space to being the biggest ear on the planet. Potentially, they can just hear everything. And Snowden said, this is why I support cryptography and cryptocurrency and blockchain. I guess we all know about cryptocurrency. Who doesn't know about cryptocurrency, blockchain? No one doesn't know. But in a sense, essentially, it's basically saying that we've surrendered, unfortunately, tragically, we to some degree have surrendered the internet and connect unseen by the various powers that be, state and corporate powers. The next thing they want is to figure out how this works at the level of society, at the level of community, at the level of institutions, and yes, at the level of politics. So they're beginning to kind of move it into that area. But Snowden said it very, very dramatically. He said, he went back to his original CIA sign-up document, which said, I have to find a way to defend the American Republic from enemies within and without. That's what his original signature was. I must defend the American. To me, it's a slightly bruising moment for me, because I was your classic net idealist. I was bought Wired magazine. I jumped on CompuServe. I loved the idea that we'll have to sort of step up as digital citizens in the face of this. But one of the things that we can do, and this is our suggestion, to new digital practice, and there's a lot of experimentation going on in that. If you look at the futures category on the alternative website, thealternativeuk.org.uk, a lot of people are going to do a complementary currency and have a complementary system, maybe even driven by entirely different values. We've got a guy, I'll mention one guy called Mike Riddell, who does something, local retailers in an area, and creates a currency for kids to do charitable works. And the more that they do those charitable works, the more they earn this currency, and the more they get access to the cinema for nothing.